All right, my friends. So going over some emails and just want to respond to this one from Denny is absolutely right on. Denny says, "Hey Josh, I have a question about retirement. I've heard several times that if the market takes a dip just before you retire, it can really hurt you. Hence the need for savings a few years cash to keep things afloat until the market storm is over. My question is, why would that time period be any more damaging to your portfolio than, say, 7 years into your retirement? Appreciate the work and all the best." Okay, man, Danny, spot on. I actually did a video, maybe one or two of them along these lines, where it says stocks are not less risky in the long term. And the reason for that is because the long term never comes. The it's You ever seen the South Park episode where Randy gets addicted to video games and he's chasing the dragon? Like you never catch the dragon, so he's trying to inject himself on the video with heroin. It's funny, but it's sad actually. But you never chase the dragon. You never capture it. It's always elusive. It's always the elixir. And the same thing with stocks being less risky. They're always risky today, always, without question. 5 years from now, they're always just as risky today as they were 5 years before, because today is all that matters. The stock market doesn't know what you did in the past, doesn't care what you did in the past, has no knowledge of you, has no knowledge of what you bought. It just knows for today, here is the risk. And every given day, I think it's like 52% of the time the market goes up, 48% of the time the market goes down. For every year, it's like 65-35. Every 3 years is 75-25. Every 5 years is 85-15, something like that. So what people do is they extrapolate that. The longer you hold stocks, the less likely you're going to lose money. Yes, but you're missing that, because that's saying if I held them for 10 years, backdating. So I started in 2009, now 2019, I would have made money. Yes, but it doesn't matter. Those days are behind us. The only thing that matters is the future. And Jeremy Siegel had written these books, which are wonderful, highly recommended reading. I read the first Siegel one in 94, 95 when I was in school in economics at George Mason, Stocks for the Long Run. And what he shows is the longer you hold stocks, the less likely you're going to lose money. And everyone takes that and extrapolates that to say by holding stocks for the long term, you reduce the risk. Thus, as long as you only have the sequence of return risk in the front end of your retirement. That's not true. The sequence of return risk is always there. It never goes away, which is why I fully recommend the barbell approach, because you always have enough cash. Because the risk to your retirement is always there. Every day, every year, it's there. It matters not 20 years from now or 20 years before. It matters not. It just matters today. And that's the thing. We try to use information from the past, project in the future without recognizing all that matters is today. Today is what matters. I cannot stress this enough. So to say, well, if I hold it for 10 years, I'll be okay. Hey, you don't know that, first and foremost. Just because the historical numbers said that, it doesn't mean anything. Well, 10 years now, if I hold it for 10 years, I'll be okay. Well, 10 years now, you still got to start from someplace. You're still starting today. The stocks are not less risky in the long term. They're just as risky. Now, what some people say is, and this makes sense. Well, if you're just retiring today at 65, you plan on living for 25 years, you need your money to last for 25 years. And that way, if you take a hit in the front end of a 25 years, you're probably going to blow through your money before the 25 years is up. But if you fast forward until you're 80, you only have a 10-year time frame. So if you take a hit in the first 10 years there, you're probably not going to burn through as much. I get that. Does that make sense? So basically, if you get hit on the front end of your retirement, and your retirement is for 25 years, it's going to be hard to replenish that. Okay, and if you say if I get hit at 80, because that's the front end of my retirement at 80, even if I've retired for 15 years, I only need 10 years before I die. But you don't know that either. I hope that makes sense. It's just they're looking at it through the threshold of you're 65. The sequence of return risks are such that you'll run out of money in 22 years if you get hit with a bear market from 65 and 66. Whereas if you were not retired, but if you're at 80 years old and you get hit with a bear market, you only need your money to last for 10 years. You'll still have money left over, simply because you don't need the money to last as long. That's the only reason they say that. And I get that. But I do think there is an issue with people saying, oh, the stocks are the long term. Stocks never lose money in the long term. A, you don't know that. B, the long term is always out there. Today's out there, 10 years from now is out there, 25 years from now is out there. I hope this makes sense. All right, we'll see you.